and Vigil. I am Reiko Miyagawa, representing JPLEX, Japanese Support Group of Lexington. Tonight, we are holding this gathering and vigil for the victims of the Atlanta, Georgia shootings that happened on March 16th. There are 8 victims, out of which 6 were women of Asian descent. Unfortunately, this is just one of many anti-Asian hate incidents in the United States. Over the year of the pandemic, nearly 3,800 anti-Asian hate incidents have been reported. That is much more than the 2,800 incidents reported the previous year. As in Atlanta, women are disproportionately targeted. 68% of the victims have been women. This vigil is for all the people who have suffered from anti-Asian and misogynist hate crimes in Atlanta and elsewhere in our country. We are here for people who have been targets of other hate crimes as well. Our vigil in Lexington is one of many gatherings that have been organized tonight in cities all over the nation, for the same purpose. Tonight's vigil is sponsored by the Lexington Community Coalition, which consists of 20+ community organizations in this town. Our co-sponsors are Association of Black Citizens of Lexington, Bangladesh Americans of Lexington, BEN Running Group, Boston Sichuanese Association, Carey Memorial Library, Chinese American Association of Lexington, CAL, Chinese Americans of Lexington, KLEX, Chinese American Association of Newton, Civic Education Alliance, First Parish in Lexington, Fallen Church, High Rock Church, Indian Americans of Lexington, Japanese Support Group of Lexington, Korean American Organization of Lexington, Lex Art, Lex Chat, Lexington Community Coalition, Lexington Farmers Market, Lexington Historical Society, Lexington Human Rights Committee, Lexington President's PTO/PTA Council, Lex Pride, Lex Tinas, Lin Tzu Foundation, LPS Green Teams, New England Chinese American Alliance, New Legacy Cultural Center, North America Hanzhou Association, North American Nanning Association, Pilgrims Congregational Church, Sunrise Lexington, the Lexington Minutemen, Together We Rise, United Chinese Americans, Massachusetts, Wisdom Temple in Billerica, Zuchan WeChat Group. In addition, we have many individuals here representing many parts of our community. This is truly a community-wide response. Now, I will read the names of the people whose lives were taken away in Atlanta. Sun Chan Park, Hyunjin Grant, Sun Cha Kim, Yeon Yu, Delana Ashley Yan, Paul Andre Michaels, Xiao Jie Tan, Dao Yu Fan. Those are the names of the 8 people. We hold all of these people in our hearts. Please join me in a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. Next, people from several organizations will make a brief speech. Due to time constraints, we will post other organization statements on the Lexington Community Coalition's website, lexhereforyou.org. We plan to end the program around 8:15, but the light display will remain here till 9 p.m. And now, I'm pleased to welcome our next speaker, Senator Cindy Friedman.
Thank you, Reiko. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the Lexington Coalition for putting this together. A strong community comes together when one or some of its members are threatened, and that is what we're doing tonight. That is why we're here. Violence against Asian Americans is real, growing, and dangerous. We mourn the lives lost in Atlanta and stand with the AAPI community here in Lexington and across the country. Now is the time to stand strong and loud against scapegoating and targeting of our AAPI friends, neighbors, and fellow residents, and denounce all racially motivated crimes. I am so proud of this community, and I pledge to do what I can to ensure Lexington and the Commonwealth remain a welcoming place for all, no matter who you are or where you come from. Our differences make us richer. Our differences make us stronger. Thank you, Lexington, for bringing us together tonight in a true sense of community. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Superintendent Julie Hackett, and I am happy to address you this evening. I'm supposed to talk very closely into the mic, so I'll try to speak up. When someone in our community hurts, we hurt too. The hate crimes that happened in Atlanta are beyond comprehension, and our hearts go out to all who are affected by this senseless tragedy, and especially to our Asian and Asian American friends. What happened in Atlanta was horrific and tragic, yes, but we know that such hate crimes are not new. The U.S. logged more than 3,800 hate crimes, as you heard earlier, this past year, and the tragedies in Atlanta represent only one in a growing trend of anti-Asian hate crimes in our country and in our state. We are here tonight because we know that the wounds of racism start small. We must protect one another from horrific crimes by making it clear that no harmful words, no name calling, no shunning, and no act of violence against those of Asian descent or any other human being will be tolerated in our community, ever. Education is the most powerful way to combat racism and xenophobia. As your superintendent, and I want to talk to our children now, the children out there, raise your hand if you are a child in the Lexington schools, or just a child. As your superintendent, you have my word that I will do everything I can to make our school system and this world a better place for you. Do you want to come up? I think you all, come on up for a second. So stay right there. So we don't get too close. We're going to practice our social distancing, but they don't know that I'm calling on them, so this is a last minute thing, but these signs are so fantastic. And we have a sign here that says, "Don't treat Asians badly, or else you will see the true color." Give her a hand. And then behind is "Stop Asian Hate." Let's give a shout out for that. Don't shout, clap. Thank you. Thank you. The children always know the way. We have so many here with beautiful signs. Thank you so much. Education does matter. This is where it starts. This is how it starts. This is how we prevent tragedies like the ones that happened in Atlanta. In our classrooms and in our community, we must refocus our efforts and remember that anti-Asian racism is not new and must be addressed. We need to create safe spaces to talk about racism, to learn more about one another, and to develop the mutual love and respect that protects us from the hate and tragedy that permeates our nation. To our Asian and Asian American friends, and to our children, you are Lexington. This is your community. We love and support you, and we are here for you. Here in Lexington, we all belong. And there is no place in our community for hate. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Hua Wang. I'm here representing the Chinese American Association of Lexington and also the Lexington Historical Society and also UCMA and also NECA. So today we gather here in Lexington in mourning and solidarity. And we are joined by vigils and rallies across the nation. We are obviously grieving, angry, but mostly we're in pain. In this historical moment for Asian Americans and indeed for our Americans, as a professor, I'm going to leave the homework for the entire community. There are two burning questions that are begging for answers. The first question is, why is this happening? The why. Is history repeating itself? In 1982, Vincent Chang was murdered because he was mistaken as Japanese. And in 2020, Tadataka Uno was attacked because he was mistaken as Chinese. And the second burning question, homework, is what can we do? Ever since Wednesday morning, there has been non-stop outpouring support to all of us. Amid this support, everybody is asking the question, what can we do? What can we do as individuals? What can we do as neighbors? But what can we do as organizations? And more importantly, what can we do as a community, as a nation? Tonight is the most beautiful beginning. Look at this. But it's only a beginning. It takes a village to answer the why and the what, and to move forward towards a more perfect union. In closing, let me quote MLK. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Thank you.
evening. I'm Susie Lee Snell, co-founder of the Korean American Organization of Lexington. It's good to see so many here gathered, embracing our community. Tonight we honor the 8 victims in Atlanta. We are struck with grief and sadness as we mourn the loss of their lives from a senseless act of violence. Many of us are even discouraged and angry at the notion that this was an end result of someone's bad day. I've heard so many stories this past month and this past year of hate crimes as a result of our skin color, our religion, our gender, and whom we choose to love. But any act of violence against a targeted group or individual is an act of violence against humanity. We may not have known the 8 people whose lives were suddenly ended, but their loss is felt by many. When we hear of this kind of violence, we are left feeling vulnerable. But we cannot let the actions of one person steal our hope for a better tomorrow. As individuals and together as a community, we need to choose love. It is our differences that make Lexington a rich and vibrant community, and we need to embrace these differences. Now, this will take courage and compassion to rise above the hate and fear, but we can do it. We'll stand together in unity and in peace. Thank you.